Hey there, thanks for taking the time to watch this presentation with us. We're going to go through these slides and kind of break down what we're all about here at All County Colorado Springs Property Management and what we can do for you. What do you want from your rentals? You want to make management easy for you, keep your property well maintained, recruit responsible tenants, keep tenants in the property, and keep costs low and income high. In other words, you want to make good money without a lot of hassle, and that's why we're here. What should you look for in a property management company? One, you're going to want qualifications. Two, you're going to want to know about how their staff is and what they can handle. How's their communication? How do they do marketing? And what ties do they have to the community? This is a picture of the office. We moved in here in March 2020. We maintain both levels of this office building downtown, 811 South Tejon, Colorado Springs, Colorado. We're right off I-25, so we're almost always minutes from your door to make sure we can check on it as soon as possible if need be. Here's a quick rundown of our qualifications. We do have 30 years of experience. We manage, right now it's actually closer to about 500 doors, but it's always at least 450 doors here in Colorado Springs, single family and multifamily homes. We employ some of the most cutting-edge technology systems and programs to help monitor your property, keep paper trails of the necessary documentations, and just all around keep your property up and running right. We have certifications all over the place. Some of our different licensed realtors and staff here, every single one of us are part of NARPM, which is the National Association of Realtors and Property Managers. It's a big company for folks doing what we do. Here's kind of a quick rundown of our team. As you can see pictures of everybody. The next slide here is going to show a quick rundown. We'll also send this to the packet, but kind of has a brief description of what everybody does and has done and what their experience is here in reference to property management. And you also have a copy of this again in the packets that we send you. This is good for if you can't fall asleep at night, you can scroll through this and read these ones. So these are a list of the communication tools that we use. Rent Manager is kind of the main hub that we use. All the documentation and everything, all your statements will be saved and sent out through Rent Manager. It just helps us track everything, and it literally tracks everything A to B involved with your property. The Property Meld is the one the tenants are going to use for reporting any maintenance issues. That's a great little tool. It helps us track exactly when a tenant sent in a request for maintenance, what our maintenance team said to them as far as self-diagnosis, and if a vendor's needed to be sent out, it'll say when that vendor was sent, the work order, if you will, or what we call the meld. And then it will also track when the vendor is in communication with the tenants to assign the work, just so tenants can't be like, oh, they never showed up. We can be able to pull that up and say, well, they tried scheduling this day and called you several times at this point. So it's just a really good tool for tracking the property and making sure it's being taken care of by vendors and any maintenance issues. The LCS VoIP is our phone system. That ties in directly to our Rent Manager property management software. So any calls from tenants are recorded in there. That way we can reference back to those if the need arises. Continuing on with the communication tools here, that MAP communication is a 24/7, 365 emergency hotline where tenants can always reach us. That is a live person that they will talk to when they call. That's a real big one for a lot of our owners. I don't know if you've ever rented somewhere and say you locked yourself out or had an overnight or weekend emergency, and you call and you get Bubba's voicemail and just nothing can be done. When they call that emergency hotline with us, it's going to be a live person that's going to get on the other line and be able to take care of and necessary action to send the right vendor or get things handled in a correct response amount of time to make sure we're, one, just protecting your property if there is something catastrophic, or helping someone in a moment of need on that. The Z Inspector is an app that all of our employees have on our phone. It helps us provide continuous contact with our tenants. I'll have a little bit more in depth on that here shortly. The Listen 360 is a continuous survey of tenants that we have to ensure quality of service. We really try to set the bar high, and we want to make sure that we're providing quality service to everybody involved with our company. We feel that that's part of the reason we've been in business for the 10 years here. and a growing business with great reviews from owners, just to make sure we're doing our job and taking care of your property as we should be. We use full social media. We have accounts on all major social platforms. This allows us to reach out to not only tenants and owners, but possible tenants as well, as we market your properties on social media and boost those to really make sure we're in front of a broad audience with as many people as we can, just to get somebody moved into your property as soon as we can. So that's a big one for us as well. Some of the community ties that we have, of course, the MLS. We have 4 licensed real estate agents on staff that all do the necessary things to maintain their MLS status. They're NAR, the National Association of Real Estate and Property Managers, NARPM. Ties that we have, of course, National Association of Realtors and the Colorado Association of Realtors. We also belong to the Women's Council of Realtors here in Colorado, as well as several other different platforms. And I can send you a little bit more in-depth information on that in the packet that we send, so you can read through that as well. So now what happens after you hire us? We're going to sit down and we're going to get to know your property. We're going to fill out this property worksheet. Basically helps us build a digital model, if you will, of your house, when it's going to be ready for move-in, when the vacancy will be, what we want to start the listing price at, if the rent's going to include any HOA fees, utilities, etc., how we're going to do with pets, what kind of pets, dogs only, no cats, cats only, etc., no pets. Another thing this is going to help us do is like the breaker box, for example, where that's located. If there is a blackout or something and we need to get a vendor in there overnight, we can say, hey, the breaker box is on this wall in this room, or in the garage here. Here's where the main water turnoff is. If you go under the house there, it's going to be right there to your right. So this is a really good worksheet we use to kind of build your house, like I said, digitally, and make sure we know what we have for vendors or just information in general. We're going to do an initial walkthrough and note anything that needs to be fixed or cleaned. If there is any issues that we need to get a vendor out for to take care of before we put tenants in. The main reason for that is we really want to give a tenant the property and the condition that we expect them to give it back to us at. For example, we don't want to give them a dirty property and let them move out and leave it dirty. So we just make sure everything's up to a pretty decent standard. That helps us protect your property in the long run and give, hopefully bring in a little more rent and take care of it a little better for you. So we'll take pictures inside and out. We do a 360 photo. We can do a video walkthrough. That's been really crucial here over the last few months for us with the way things are. And then we'll start the marketing process. So as we do the marketing process, we'll do the market evaluation. You also receive the initial one in the packet that we send you, but it'll just give us an idea of what similar houses in your area are renting for, or similar townhomes, condos, etc. Same bedrooms, bathrooms, etc. What those are renting for, and kind of how to expect things, and help provide the most money and income property that we can. Marketing, our main tool that we use is Show Mojo. So we're going to build your ad in there. We use lots of pictures, walkthrough videos, and we use the pictures to also create a video. Once this information is built into Show Mojo, that's going to syndicate out to all the different websites that we market on. Right now we're advertising on over 50 websites. We pay top dollar for Zillow marketing and all the syndications that they use. We also have a full-time search engine optimization lady that does a great job of the social media marketing and showing what keywords and web crawlers are going to hit the best to not only market your house the best, but put your house in front of the most qualified audience that we can if they're looking for a house in your area. That all ties back into the rent manager and the property meld, so we can say, hey, I know you've had experiences in the past, but this is how we do things here. Everything's documented and tracked for you. And then of course we'll put up in the MLS here so that local agents can see that as well. If they have a homeowner that maybe can't buy yet but needs a rental, we can also market that way for them too. And you. Our tenant screening is a very thorough process. When a tenants inquire about your property, we'll get them through a showing, and if they decide that they want to put an application in, we'll begin the process. The main tool that we use there is AM Rent. It's integrated with all of our other platforms to kind of just tie in and make everything go smoothly. We believe that good screening helps keep a tenant longer, puts a good qualified tenant in there. and it kind of helps reduce skips and evictions and no pays. So it's really important to us to do as thorough of a job. We have a great team that does the tenant screening process, so and they do that full time for us. So it's a really unique and great program that we use. If we do allow pets in the property, we also essentially mandate the pets go through kind of a background check as well. It's called petscreening.com. You can check that out too. It's kind of a third-party liability protection, helps make sure that if it is a service animal, it validates that and any necessary paperwork that needs to come with that. It helps create a comprehensive pet profile for your pet, so we know what's going in there and make sure that it's got a positive history and stuff like that. Once that's all done, we will have them sign the lease. Our lease is molded over 30 years of business. We'll make sure the tenants understand the lease completely from start to finish to avoid any future problems. We have a YouTube video online that you can check out called Signing Your Lease, and that helps tenants walk through, and you can also see that our proprietary lease as well.
Signing your lease. Part 2. Paying your rent. Paying your rent on time is the most important thing you do as a tenant. The rent is due on the 1st of each month and is considered late on the 2nd.
Once the tenant is in place and things are running smoothly, what happens? Once the tenants are in there, we keep the ongoing management, keeping vacancies short and handle tenant disputes. Best case scenario is we get some good tenants in there and they want to stay for 15 years and never pay a late month's rent. We do have lots of long-time tenants in lots of the properties that we manage, so that's just a shout to our apps team and what a wonderful job they do. Once they move out, or if there is any issues, we will deal with the legal side of things and evictions. We have a full-time real estate property management attorney that handles that for us. All they do is property management law. They do a great job doing that. We're also going to routinely inspect your property with monthly drive-bys. What we do there is we'll cruise by the property, snap a couple pictures of the front, make sure that the blinds aren't busted up, or if there's a yard, that the weeds aren't overgrowing and trash in the hallway or anything like that on the porch. So we'll do that once a month, and then twice annually we'll do a full walkthrough. So we will notify the tenants, let them know we're going to be here on this day, and we'll actually go into the house and take a few pictures of the inside, make sure they're protecting the property and keeping it up to our standards. We have a great team of vendors on our side if there is maintenance issues. They do a really good job of giving us preferred rates because we send them so much business, and we pass those savings on to you. One thing that's a big thing for us, and you'll see, is that you will see every invoice that happens on your property. We don't mark those up. There's no income generated there on our behalf. Basically, we want to get you the best deal we can on any maintenance deals, and we pass that on to you. And then once the monthly rent's paid, we're going to get all the bills cycled through, and we're going to deposit that into your account with that direct deposit. So that always goes out by the 10th. They're no later than the 10th. The way it kind of breaks down is the tenants pay their rent on the 1st, and then if there is any bills due, once that cycles through, gets deposited, clears, and then any bills go out, then our accountant will send that out to you. But again, that is no later than the 10th that that's sent out for you. Going back to the MEL, the tenants will be able to report any maintenance issues through the portals. Again, that is tracked. We can see a documented history of if and what may have happened. The tenants have several ways to pay rent, making it easier for them to pay. There is, cash apps. They can go into a Walmart or a King Soopers and pay that way. They can pay online, or they can put a check and bring it by the office. So there's really no reason for them not to be able to pay. The cash pay is a big one around the holidays when people are out of town, like, oh, hey, I forgot to pay my rent. What can I do? We can be like, hey, are you close to a Walmart? Yes, I am. Then send them in, and they can pay their rent that day. The tenant non-payment is handled within days. When eviction is necessary, our experts move into action. We get everything correctly documented and filed with the legal team by the Colorado law and legislature that's passed to make sure we're doing everything legally, but we do not waste a moment to get that handled when necessary. And then when a new tenant is needed, as soon as we're ready to market, we do that immediately as well. We like to keep that turnover low. We see on average from move out to new tenant move in, it's about 2 weeks, and that's full inspections and advertising and everything there. That way we don't really skip a beat at all. So We also have the ability to add a spouse to the lease, or if there's any other life changes, we're able to handle that for tenants as well. And that just kind of helps with, keeping tenants going and on the right foot and moving forward with it. Ongoing owner services. As an owner, you will have access to your income and expenses 24 hours a day, 7 days a week through your owner portal. You'll be notified of any maintenance issues, and you'll be able to approve the work before it's done. We'll be able to continue to do the drive-bys and send those out to you if you'd like. And then when you're ready to buy another investment property, we have full-time realtors on staff that can help you purchase another one. Or if you're thinking about selling, we can help you with that too. This is a partnership with you and with our company, and we want to be able to provide as many services and professional services as we can for you, and we really take pride in doing that. Our mission is to ensure every property owner has a competent and honest professional to manage their most valuable asset. When you make money, we're making money. So yeah, it's really important to us to get good tenants in there and keep them in there. If things are going smoothly, you're not hearing from us and just money's getting deposited into your account every month. But we pride ourselves on being able to take care of the issues when they do arise, if they do arise, and handle it professionally and in the most cost-effective way that we can for you. We hope to keep you long-term as owners and earn that trust. We get lots of referrals because of owners that say we do a good job and have kept us for several years with them. Here's a few testimonials. If you'd like to read through those, you can pause it. But we have lists of these. These are kind of some of our favorite ones with people in and out of town that have left us reviews over the years.